Hi, I'm Lorella. Welcome to my home office. Today I'm going to be talking about planning and organization in here that's going to set me up for success in the garden this year. The first thing I did was to sit down and sketch our house and the areas around it, and specifically the areas in which we're going to plant, so that I could have a big picture view of where I want everything to go in the garden, not just for this year, but for the future. We have several areas around the homestead where we want to plant things. We have an orchard area where we plan on having a permaculture garden. We have a kitchen garden, and we have an area for cold frames and berries. This year I'm going to focus my time, energy, and resources into my kitchen garden. And so with that in mind, the next thing I did was kind of sketch out what I want that garden to look like. Just a very basic idea, but so that I would kind of have that in mind as I went along in the process. Having that sketch down on paper is a real motivator for me, and it keeps me going through the rest of the steps because I can envision where I'm going with this garden. The second thing I did was real simple. I just sat down and I listed out all the vegetables that I want to grow this year. And I not only included vegetables that we like to eat, although that is the main focus, but I included some things that we don't really eat ourselves, such as tomatoes. We are still growing some because I will have customers who want them. So I made a list of the things that I want to grow to eat ourselves, and I included things that we want to sell. The third thing I did, and something that was pretty hard for me, was try and figure how much do I need to grow of each thing. I mean, seriously, how many tomatoes are you going to get from each tomato plant that you plant? I don't know, and it's quite a bit overwhelming for me. I went online and did a search for how many vegetables do I need to grow to feed a family of 4, and I found 3 or 4 different websites, and from there I copied down the amounts that I would need of just the vegetables that I wanted to grow, and they ranged. There was quite a big range of what people thought you needed. So I decided that I'm going to go with the middle to high number. If I plan for a family of 4, then I should have enough excess so that I can sell or give away some. Now comes what for me is probably the hardest part. It's knowing what to plant when, and to not feel like I'm always chasing the garden season. Like, oh, there's bell peppers in the store, I guess I should buy some and plant some. Oh, people are putting up their videos of starting seeds, I guess I should start seeds. I really didn't want to be like that this year. I really wanted to be on top of my game, and so I need a detailed plan. And for me, that comes in the form of a calendar. So I got out, it's right over here on my bookshelf actually, this resource. This is probably my favorite resource. This is Clyde's Garden Planner. And it's really interesting the way it works. So it is a slide rule, and it's on the spring side. So there's a red line, and you simply slide that across to your last frost date of the spring. And then it will tell you, it'll give you a general guideline of what to plant when. And the things that it tells you are really cool. In the red section, it tells you how many seeds to plant in a 10-foot row, what the planting depth is, what the distance between rows or hills is, what the distance between plants after thinning is, and then in the next section, it tells you whether to seed indoors or to plant outdoors, and on what date according to where your red line hits. And then the green check marks are when the expected harvest is. And then in this blue section on your right hand side, it says the approximate produce yield per 10-foot row, if it's a 12-inch row, and natural companions that can be planted near each other go at the very end. So it's really helpful. And then you just flip it over and it has the same information for fall, and you simply slide it to your first frost date. So this for me is super, super helpful. So when I sat down with Clyde's Garden Planner, I transferred the dates that it said I should start sowing each seed, whether indoors or outdoors, and I transferred that to Saturday of each week in my calendar. And that's because typically Saturday is going to be the day I have to do this kind of work. If I get it done a few days earlier or a few days later, that's absolutely fine. But I just figured it would be there easy to see, right in a row. So like the February 1st, seed indoors celery, February 8th, celery and kale, and then it goes on from there. And then if it was to plant outside, I also marked that. And then in the checklist column, I also wrote down things that I wanted to do. So for February, it says set up seed starting and garden fencing. So my garden fencing is done. I could actually check that off. Yay! The next step for me, step number 5, if you're counting, was to actually take inventory of seeds. So I sat down at the table with my big pile of seeds because I really don't have a good organization system yet. I have a cardboard box. It's over there. I'll grab it and show you. So right now what I have is this cardboard box. Then I started sorting them by type. After I had the seeds sorted by type, then I started going through with my list. So I had in here my list of things that I want to grow, and I just put a dot by the ones I already have these, I already have these, I already have these. After I did that, the next thing that I did was then to make a list of the seeds that I did not yet have that I would need to purchase. And then came the really fun part. I got out the Baker Creek seed catalog. Now, I live close to Baker Creek, probably less than 45 minutes away from it, and I knew that I would be going with my friend April to buy seeds in person and not order them. So why didn't I just go in the store and browse? I will tell you why. Overwhelm of trying to figure out which seed is going to be the one that I want out of like the 30 kinds of tomatoes that they have, or the 20 kinds of cucumbers or whatever. So I sat down with the catalog and I browsed through and I read all the descriptions, and on my list I wrote down the variety name and whatever the code was in the catalog, so that when I got to the store it really made selecting it much easier. And I had intended on taking more footage when I was in the store, but I didn't. I don't know why. I just got this silly little footage of one row of seeds. And then here's a picture of April and Mia and I, and that's all I got. But I do really enjoy shopping there. There are other very reputable sources for seeds. My Gardener is a good source for seeds, as is Morgan County Seeds in northern Missouri. There is Dirt Patch Heaven on her Facebook. She has I forget the person's name. It's a woman who does seed saving, and I believe she also may sell seeds. I don't know. But there's lots of good sources out there for seeds, so you don't have to buy from Baker Creek. I like them for several reasons. One reason is because they're close, so I'm buying local. I know them. I know people who work there. Another reason is because they are heirloom seeds, so you know what you're getting. You're getting a non-GMO heirloom variety. And something that April mentioned that I hadn't really thought of, because I don't really order from there, is they do free shipping. So if you are going to order from somewhere that charges you shipping, you know, add that into your calculations when you are figuring out what you're going to buy, because it will make a difference. So now I have my list of what I want to grow, of how many I want to grow. I have it in my calendar. I've purchased my seeds. There's just 2 more things I need to do. The last 2 steps for me to get organized before I actually start planting anything is, first of all, to transfer my monthly calendar from this book to this whiteboard. Because let's be honest, sometimes I forget to open this up and look. Even if I have it set out open on my desk, I just forget. But I walk by this every morning when I wake up. I can look at my whiteboard and at a glance know this is what I need to be doing in the garden and on the farm. So this is a great resource for me. In addition to that, I also will print out these pages like I made a couple years ago. I made these pages for record keeping. They show the variety that I bought. I went on Baker Creek website and I took the picture and the description straight from their website and put it on this sheet. And then I added some spaces to write how much I paid for it, what were the planting dates, what were the harvest dates, what were planting notes, what were harvest amounts, did I sell any and for what amounts, and did I store any for what and for what amounts. That's going to be the last thing, and then I am going to be ready to start my garden. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you found any of this helpful, please be sure and let me know, and would you consider hitting that subscribe button? That way you can hit the notification bell and you'll know every time a new video comes out. And also let me know if you have any questions about anything that I mentioned. If I didn't really explain it well enough, let me know that. And if you have other organization tips and tricks for getting ready for your garden, let me know. I'm really looking forward to my Garden 2020. Remember, this year's garden theme is some to savor, some to store, some to sell, and some to share. And I'm going to be putting all these videos in a playlist. So this is the second in the series. Make sure you go back and you watch the other one, Garden Dreaming, so you can see exactly what my big picture vision is for the garden. And I will see you the next time a video comes out. The next one in the garden series is going to be about seed starting indoors. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.